call this video, You Are the Problem. And the you I'm talking about is me, because I am the problem. I'll admit it. Sometimes you got to buck up and admit, yeah, it's me. I am the problem. People love to guilt trip you. They love to guilt trip you and say, well, if you got a problem with everybody, then maybe it's you. To me, that's a ploy, because in my eyes, don't try to penalize or punish me for being able to see through the BS that unfortunately a lot of people have to offer. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Yeah, don't penalize me for having my eyes wide open and being able to see through to some mess. Because what's the result of what's the result of peeping some lame stuff and then keeping it around you? What's the end result of that? You're going to get burned. That's the end result. And how do I know this? Because in the past, I have listened to people who say, maybe it's you. If you keep cutting certain people off, or you keep cutting people off, then you are the problem. But here's the thing. I don't cut everyone off. Yes, I have cut a few people off, which may look like a lot of people in some people's eyes, but trust me, they earned it. And trust me, I have stuck around gathering evidence for long enough before I ultimately made my decision. Also, I've always taken measures to check, to make sure that I'm not just making things up in my head, whether it's a conversation needs to be had or whether I fact check, the person's lies or things that they've said. Trust and believe I have done my research before I decide to cut people off. And I know it may seem like a toxic trait to cut people off, but what I'm here to tell you is please don't let people guilt you into keeping people around who are not worthy of staying in your life. So what does that say? You have to cut some people off. You don't necessarily have to ghost them, but kind of lay back on them a bit. Ease up. And we're not just doing this to everyone in our lives. But I did a video on high value people. Well, that wasn't the topic, but I discussed what a high value person was and what a low value person was. And I know it could sound harsh because you don't want to really label people, but let's just be real. There are two types of people in this world. There are high-value people and there are low-value people. Now, the high-value people, they respect themselves. They respect other people. They put themselves in other people's shoes. Therefore, they wouldn't do something to you that they wouldn't want done to them. But those low-value people, they're going to suck you dry. They get into your life with a motive. They have a motive. They're monitoring spirits. They watch you. Some of them get close to you so they can steal your sauce. They try to steal your personality. They try to steal your friends. They try to weasel and wedge their way in too close to you, only to pick up your characteristics and traits and then turn on you. So you got to be able to recognize that. Have y'all ever seen Single White Female? Lifetime did their own version, Single Black Female. Okay, both movies are really good. I love both of those movies. And they're just so telling. If you haven't seen it, watch that. Either watch Single White Female or watch Single Black Female. Good movies. And It's a pure example, maybe not to that extreme because everyone's not a killer, but it depicts how a person gets close to you because they want your life. And you got to be careful of those type of people who want your life. They want to mimic you. They want to mimic everything that you do. And they want to be close to you. They want to be close to you. And they like everything about you. They just don't want you to have it because they want it for themselves. So see, it may appear that they like you, but they really don't. Because in the end, they're going to try to steal your sauce, steal your man, steal your friends, everything. And they want a discard of you. They may not take you out like they did in the movie to that extreme, but they're going to get rid of you somehow because their main goal is to take your place. So someone can say to me, no one can guilt me anymore and say, well, maybe if, you having so many problems with people, maybe you are the problem. You can't guilt me like that no more because I'm not listening to that poor advice. Better advice that I would give those who are younger than me is that if you peep something the first time, believe that. Believe that. Don't try to make up excuses for the lame stuff that people do. Don't make up excuses. They did it. They mean it. They meant it. They stood on it. So you stand on business. And you may not necessarily have to ghost them right away, but just collect your evidence. And when you have enough to where you feel like you're fed up or, this is enough evidence, I don't want a person like this around me, then you need to make your exit and quickly because your quality of life depends on it. And I know sometimes younger women, especially when you're at a point in your life where friends and having a lot of friends is important, you may keep those low-value people around you because you just want friends. You want friends to come to your birthday parties. You want to celebrate with these people. But when you think about it, then who's the user then? Who's the user? It might be you. So think about your true intention, your true reason for wanting people around you. You want people around you because you care about each other, not because it's popular or it's the thing to do or it's going to get you more clout or more followers on IG. So think about who's the user in that situation. You don't want to be the user, and you don't want anyone using you. The most important thing here is to love the people who you have close to you and in your circle. You don't want to dislike the people who are around you. If you dislike them, then it's time to part ways because that can get ugly and real fast. And you don't want to keep someone around just because you know them or you've known them for a long time. Some of the people that I've known the longest and I kept them around me because I've known them for so long, those are the people who have betrayed me the most because they weren't meant to be in my life. And I had to learn this the hard way, but they betrayed me the most. But I held on to them because I felt like we've known each other since 5th grade or we've known each other since kindergarten. But can't you see how foolish that is, how foolish that sounds? People change. They pick up characteristics over the years. That same friendly girl that I met in kindergarten who was my friend. Everybody was your friend back then. You called it everybody. You can lock eyes with somebody and play dolls. The next minute, that's your best friend. Everybody was your friend then. Over the years, people change. So I really think it's a blessing when you do have a friend for that long. And I do have some friends still from pre-K. pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. I have some quality friends from that long ago, but I'm wise enough to know that everybody that I met back then could not stay my friend. No, because they change. I change. And it's not like I change for the better and they change for the worse. No, we change and we were living two separate lives. I don't roll the way they roll. They don't roll the way I roll. And we don't have the same qualities that we met on. Those don't exist anymore. So it was time to let the friendship go. And I understand that it's hard with social media and society and everyone telling you what you should do. The girls' trips, they look fun. They are fun. They are very fun. I go on girls' trips, but I'm not just going on girls' trips with anybody. And I'm certainly not going on girls' trips with people who I can't stand or people who have jealous qualities, because it's not going to end well for someone on that trip. So one thing I notice about society is they can't stand a woman that doesn't give a F about their pressure or standards. So if society, for example, if society is telling you you need lots of girlfriends, you need lots of girlfriends around you. You know, they're making it seem like the popular thing to go on these big old girls trips and have these big old girls days. But you don't have those people that you trust like that in your life. So you go on a solo trip. That's okay. That's fine. Go on the solo trips until you can find your tribe of girlfriends who you can go on a girls trip with. Because girls trips also can end friendships. I've been there too. I've been there. And now I'm talking to the women, the younger women. Now I'm talking to you. I've been there before. A girls trip can wreck a friendship. Okay? But what I know is that the experience that I had with that is that friend should have been dumped off a long time ago. Okay? So the friend should have never even been on. We should have never been on a girls trip together at that point. So what I'm saying is, and right now, it may be popular to go on solo trips. It may not be as safe to go on a solo trip. Try to keep it in the States. Maybe if you're scared to go out of the country, or just make sure you take all the proper safety precautions. Or maybe just go on a trip with one other person. Maybe just go on a trip with one other person. Go on a trip, if you're too scared to go on a solo trip, go on a trip with someone you trust. And that could be someone older or younger than you. You don't have to do what's trending, is what I'm saying. And the women who go against what's trending, especially black women, society don't like that. They'll try to make you feel bad about it. Well, why would you? Why? And when I say society, I mean it looks popular, it's trending. So then when you talk to people about what you're doing or what you've done, they may have something to say or maybe questioning why. And you don't have to give them a reason. Do what feels good in your spirit and do what feels safe. Do what makes your nervous system feel calm and at ease, because that is what is going to protect you, and you always want to stay protected. So when I say, maybe I am the problem, maybe I am, maybe you are, because I refuse to continue to allow low-value people to bring down my value. So I walk away. Now, if I'm guilty of anything, it's the fact that I'm guilty of walking away. So yes, if it looks like, you know, you're quick to be done with people, maybe you're the problem. Maybe I am. I'll take that.